For almost 2,000 years, people have been trying to understand biblical prophecy about the end of the age and the coming kingdom of God on earth. However, the Bible states in Daniel 12 that prophecy will be closed and sealed until the time of the end. Now is the time of the end, and biblical prophecy is about to be opened and unsealed. This presentation is titled Signs of the Times. It's dated January 17, 2008. I am author and speaker Richard Perry. I've written 2 books about the time of the end. One is Of the Last Days, Listen I Tell You a Mystery. The most recent is The Complete Idiot's Guide to the Last Days. My website is lastdaysmystery.info. This presentation is entitled Signs of the Times, and it's dated for obvious reasons as we get into the presentation. I plan to update it as needed. At Christ's first coming, he expected his followers to know and understand the signs of the times. He expects no less today of those that are waiting for his second coming. Christ admonished the religious leaders of the time. He said to them, "You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times, the signs of the first coming of the Messiah." Are we recognizing the signs of the second coming? So what are the signs of the times? What are the times? Well, since the time of Christ, the Bible indicates that we've been in what is called the last days. If you want to see more about the last days, see some of my other presentations. But this presentation is regarding the time of the end. It is my belief that we have already entered into the time of the end, which is less than a 40-year period from its beginning until the coming kingdom and the return of Christ. I call some of the early signs to this period early warning signs of the times. Christ gave us the beginning of birth pains in Matthew 24. He said when ethnic group would rise against ethnic group and kingdom against kingdom, there would be famines, earthquakes, gale, force winds, tornadoes, hurricanes in various places. This would be the beginning of signs. So the beginning of birth pains have started, early warning signs of the time of the end. But there are other early warning signs in the Bible. In Revelation we find 7 seals, and the first seals seem to be parallels to the beginning of birth pains, and the first seal, I believe, has already opened. I have a presentation on the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and the seals, horses, and their riders that can be viewed on another video. But needless to say, the first seal, the leader of the West, has gone out conquering the Taliban, conquering Iraq, and determined to win the war on terror. He's the leader of the West. The first seal is open. So if our interpretation is correct, the beginning of birth pains has already started, and we are seeing wars, civil wars, earthquakes, famines, and hurricanes all happening simultaneously. We've also seen the leader from the West ride out conquering, determined to conquer happen. So what's the next biblical sign of the times? The next biblical sign of the times will most likely be the next biblical sign of the times will most likely be World War III. It's also when the second seal of Revelation is opened. In a minute, we're going to look at what the second seal of Revelation indicates, but it is very dire prophecy, and I believe that much of the Bible indicates that this war will be a very serious and even nuclear war. So I believe the next biblical sign of the times will most likely be the second seal of Revelation being opened and the consequences thereof. We've already seen the beginning of birth pains that Christ spoke about in Matthew 24. We also have, I believe, seen the first seal of Revelation 6 open, and the West has gone out conquering the Taliban and conquering Iraq and determined to win the war on terror. Now, let's see what happens at the second seal. When the Lamb opened the second seal, another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and make men slay each other. To him was given a large sword. Once again, I should point out some information that red horses, according to the prophet Zechariah, have been assigned to the east of Israel. So a leader from the east of Israel will take peace from the earth, and we're told he is given a large sword, which would indicate he's either given a large weapon, or it could also mean that he's been given a large victory in battle. But this moves the world from regional wars, of which we see many, to world war. So if my interpretations of this biblical prophecy is correct, the birth pains have started, and we are into a period less than 40 years until the coming kingdom. And the first seal of Revelation has been opened with the war on terror. And the second seal of Revelation, which has a rider on a red horse coming from the east of Israel, taking peace from the whole earth. And this most likely would be a nuclear war. For more detailed information on the signs of the times and the coming kingdom of God, the return of Christ, and the end of the age, you need to read the Bible. Do not be a follower of man. Be a follower of God and turn to His Bible. My resources may help you, but it is the Bible that we must rely on. If we rely on the teachings of man, we are cursed.